What is up, everyone? Jay here with another Emblem Heroes video, and today I'm going to be breaking down, or at least attempting to break down, Emblem Marth and doing a bit of an analysis on him because I'm very excited for this alt. And yeah, just super stoked that Marth is getting a new content. Even though he's another sword, yes, he's another sword infantry, I'm just happy that he's getting more content, and at least this one in terms of playstyle is a lot different for the most part compared to his other versions in the Marth family, because this one's very player phase oriented and very, he wants to initiate on everything. So I love that at least we're getting variety in that aspect. So one day we'll get the blue Marth, I hope. But for now, not complaining at all. Emblem Marth, Engage Marth, same thing pretty much, is amazing, and also is the first Emblem hero. And yeah, he's amazing art. Emblem of Beginnings, You're the One Tall does his voice so good, and he's basically like a harmonic because he represents Fire Emblem 3 and Engage, which is perfect because it was the anniversary for both of those games in January. But yeah, before I start doing the breakdown and talking about his skills and his kit, I do want to say huge thanks to Phoenix Master, because I just messaged him like a few hours ago as of me making this, and I was like, yo, can you help me understand his kit, because I don't get it really fully. You look at Lodestar Rush, this was a mouthful. I looked at this and I was like, I kind of gave up trying to understand it. I understood some of the parts like the null guard obviously and some of the simpler parts, but the potent follow-up stuff is very confusing, and Intelligent Systems kind of worded it pretty bad. It's not very clear. They could have made this less cluttered, I think. So I'm going to be putting up Phoenix Master's graphic. I hope he doesn't mind me putting it up there to help me and help you guys understand it, because he messaged me with the graphic and was like, hope it helps. And he also has it on his video, so you can also watch his video talking about it. But yeah, let's go over his weapon. Hero King's sword is basically Genesis Falchion, because it has -1 cooldown and effectiveness against dragon foes. At the start of combat, if he's alive, he grants +X to his stats, and X equals 20% of his speed. At the start of combat, +5. So this is really good because this is going to help him in the future for just getting more stats in general against, bulkier foes, faster foes. So just want to make him as fast as possible in the visible speed department to get more stats on everything. So that's amazing, +5. And then he also reduces damage from the foe's first attack by 40%. And then he also reduces the percentage of foes non-special reduced damage by X percentage skills by 50%. So this is physical no follow-up, magical no follow-up. We've seen this on my girl Kidney and Lind, Duo Lift, Young Soren. A lot of units have, the DR halving. So this is really good for Marth as a player phase nuke. And on top of that, he has Dive Bomb built into the weapon. So that pairs perfectly with his DR halving. So that's going to be very good for him to just evaporate units. So that's the sword of the Hero King. Very simple but very effective. And now we move to the complicated part, Lodestar Rush. So 40% damage boost when your special triggers, which is amazing because Shining Emblem before was only 30%. Now obviously this special is a little bit different than Shining Emblem. It doesn't buff everyone up, but still Marth's PRF special that's based off speed is now better because it has 40% damage of your speed, so that's good. And then he has null guard on top of that, which is great because now he can stop guard effects, have damage reduction, have dive bomb, so he has pretty much everything you want as an offensive nuke. And then he has the potent follow-up part, which I'm not going to read this word for word because like I said, it's worded badly, but essentially potent follow-up, which we'll get to on the potent skill that he has in his B slot, is an extra hit that Marth can get. And that extra hit is going to be reduced, just like an Engage when he does the Lodestar Rush special and skill. The hits are reduced, but you do get extra damage, right? But in this case, Lodestar Rush is going to let Marth get 100% of the damage. It's not reduced at all. So that is incredible, and we'll go to that potent skill in a second. So yeah, that is really good, and it pairs perfectly with his B slot, which just looks like Divine Speed, but they named it Potent 4, which is cool, I guess. And then the last part is being able to have unpierceable damage reduction on the foe's next attack, which is incredible because Marth has never really had an unpierceable damage reduction stuff. He's never really had that in any of his alts. Brave Marth being the tankiest one, having the most DR, it's still pierceable, so that's one of his weaknesses. But Marth here, on top of his already 40% DR in the weapon, also has unpierceable DR, which I'm stoked about because it's going to make him a lot tankier. And I guess you can make him a tank, but then again, he can't vantage sweep like Brave Marth. But I suppose you can use him as a tank with the DR part because it's unpierceable. But for now, if I do build him, when I do build him, should I say, probably just going to stick to his player phase, but I guess he is a bit customizable. But this Lodestar Rush obviously is going to be great for the player phase, and his kit is tailored towards that. So the unpierceable DR is amazing, and that's pretty much Lodestar Rush. I love it. And of course, I didn't even talk about his stat spread. He has 47 base speed with hopefully a speed super boon, and 45 attack, 33 defense, 27 res. So pretty standard stat spread you expect from Marth, obviously. Just a bit better than his other versions, obviously, as a modern unit, but Even with no speed super boon, it's still going to be up to 50 speed. So that's incredible. So yeah, that is his special and his stats. And then attack speed, finish 4 standard. You can also run Unity. I think that's going to be good for him as well, because he can teleport with the infantry no follow-up 4, which is going to, you know, obviously work well with Unity, and he wants to be as fast as possible, so he can take care of debuffs that way with Unity. But his finish 4 is also good because it gives him healing and a little bit of true damage on top of the Lodestar Rush. And now we move to Potent, which works well with his Lodestar Rush. Like I said, this is a new tier 4. I don't even know it's called dodge, really. I guess so, but it's different than the other dodge skills like Spur and Close Call, because it's not checked by speed on the damage reduction part. So even slower units, not the fastest units, can make use of this because it's not being checked by speed. It's not going to be as much, like 40 to 50%, but 30% without having a speed check is still pretty good. So that's cool. And you also have the speed defense -4 debuff on the foe, 30% DR from attacks and AoEs, and then if decreasing the speed difference necessary to make a follow-up attack by 25 would allow unit to trigger follow-up attack, excluding guaranteed or prevented follow-up, you trigger Potent Follow X. So I know that was a mouthful, but Potent Follow X essentially is if Marth has, or whoever's using this, has a greater than or equal speed stat than the foe -20, then you have the Potent Follow-up, which is the extra hit. So in the trailer, in that case, for Marth, he was going to be able to strike a 3rd time. So essentially, I think a good way to, Phoenix Master told me is a good way to think about it, is if you have a super speedy unit or someone with a brave hit, right, you're only going to get 40% of the damage on that extra hit on that Potent Follow-up, right? But if you're a slower unit getting the extra hit, then it's going to be 80%. But in Marth's case, it's going to be a full 100%, so he does not care about anyone he's facing. He just hits them with the full damage, which is incredible. So obviously Marth is the best user of this, but you can use this on other units that are player phase oriented. There's not too many sword inventories right now that I can think of that are really like Engage Marth, but I think of like Fallen Marita maybe that can use it good. But Marth here can just get the full damage, which is incredible. So the other, and everyone else that does not have Lodestar Rush is going to only get 80% or 40%, which is still good, obviously, but it's not going to be as strong as Marth can. So Marth's always going to be at 100% pretty much if you have the Lodestar Rush special, and as if you're fast enough. So essentially, like I said, if you're super speedy or have the brave hit, you're only going to get 40% on the Potent Follow-up, but if you're a slower unit getting the extra hit, then it's going to be 80. So, you know, it kind of balances out, I guess, in that aspect. So that is Potent 4, and you know, it makes more sense than trying to read all of this, honestly. So yeah, and then we go to his last skill, Infantry No Follow 4, because that's the one thing he's kind of missing in his kit, is having no follow built in. I kind of wish he did in the weapon, but this skill obviously takes care of that. But I kind of want to experiment with other skills, like, I don't know, Speed Smoke 4 for more DR or something else. But this is still good because obviously it gives him the support to his allies as well, and also being able to teleport. So that works good. But yeah, he doesn't have no follow built in his weapon, which is crucial because he's going to need that to double certain units, and he's blazing fast, but still having no follow-up is very important. It's just like Winter Marth, who needs Savvy Fighter or no follow-up support to really get those doubles. So yeah, Infantry no follow-up is good. As the C slot, it's perfect for him. And then the last part, the part that makes him the class type that he is, the unit that he is, the Emblem effect. So whenever he's engaged to a character, he gives them -1 special cooldown. It cannot be reduced below 0, so keep that in mind. Or sorry, reduced below 1. And then if unit triggers, unit attacks twice effect, you reduce special damage by 8. So this is a bit of a drawback. So if you're using something like Brattlekatria, or someone has like a brave weapon, I guess, your special is not going to be as strong. It's going to be reduced by 8, which it sucks, but it's not that big of a drawback, honestly. 8 damage, and yeah, it can be the difference between life and death. But I mean, if you're going to be engaging with a character, with, you know, you're going to be using Marth as an engage with someone else, they're probably going to be pretty strong with a very strong special that's invested. So losing 8 damage is not the biggest deal, honestly. I think the Emblem effect is very strong here, so really good support. I'm just not a fan of the Dragonflower part. I talked about that in the Fate Channel reaction. I think that part's kind of it could be, you know, slippery slope, I guess, because it's like you have to summon for her merges to get the Dragonflowers. But this part's cool because you can engage with everybody but Marth, and I think he can engage with his other versions. I thought when it said it couldn't engage with himself, I thought it meant every other Marth in his family, but I think it means literally just this engaged Marth he can't engage with, which makes sense. So hopefully he can actually engage with, you know, his base brave version, because that would open up a lot of strategies on my Marth Emblem clears and stuff. So that'd be pretty cool. I could be wrong, but I think that's how it works. So we'll see, I guess, once his banner is live. It's not live right now as me making this video, but yeah, Emblem effect is really good. I'm just kind of scared that in the future this is going to be power crept by future Emblem characters, because obviously they're going to be released with other effects of their own. But I think for Marth, it shouldn't age that bad, because having -1 cooldown count as an engage effect is really good. That's always going to be good. I feel like so. But yeah, that's pretty much Marth's entire kit, and I think he's going to be an insane nuke. He plays very, very differently than most other sword of entries, because most sword of entries these days are, of course, tanks. And you know, Brave Marth is also good at initiating in his own right. I use him a lot to just kill tanks. You know, Shining Emblem has a lot of damage output, but this Marth is next level damage output. Like Lodestar Rush is insane. Obviously, he can't Vantage Sweep like his other versions, because this one's more player phase oriented, but he still also has to watch out. That's the funny thing too, is he kind of still has to watch out for Hardy Bearing, because that's the one weakness of all the other Vantage Marths and the Vantage, and his wife too, is Hardy Bearing, because Hardy Bearing is going to stop the dive bomb effect in his weapon. So you have to watch out for that as well. But for the most part, I think he's going to be able to kill them, because even if he can't get the dive bomb effect, he still has that DR that's also unpierceable. So that's really, really good to make him live. And he's just going to be so fun to use, man. I can't wait to experiment and use him and summon for him. Hopefully I get a lot of merges. I don't have the most amount of orbs right now. I have 300 saved. I might buy a few orbs. Don't know if I'm going to try and plus 10 him. I don't know. I might. I don't know, but I don't really want to use more money than I have to. But I would love to plus 10 him. Obviously, he's going to be a plus 10 merge project. But we can take a look at the rest of the banner. I didn't go over Lumera because this video is mainly for Marth, but she is... Just know she's a pretty good light mythic of her own right. She provides really good support, and also Divine Vein Stone. And the colors are pretty decent. I think Carlos is probably the worst one, because Elamine's kind of fallen off. My Kai is waiting for that remix. Ashe isn't the best mythic. She does have the teleportation, but Asker's use more her master. And then green has Ascended Sed, Sonya, Rearm Sonya, who are both really good fodder and pretty good units. And then Thor, who's not the greatest, but she's waiting for that remix to refine. Green's pretty decent, and then red. I'm gonna have to try not to get Fear too much, and Hinoka. Legendary Hinoka is good. I have one copy of her, and she's really good, but I want to get as many Marths as possible, so the color share is going to hurt. And then blue has Veil, Rion Pomeria, and Lumera, so I'd say red is the best. I'm obviously biased red. Blue is probably second best, green, and then Carlos. That's how I'd rank it. And you know, Marth being the new unit type, I think really makes red go over the top, because he has the new Emblem Engage stuff, so we're going to be able to Emblem Engage with other characters and have fun with that. So yeah, that is pretty much my breakdown. Hopefully, I think I went over everything in his kit, and hopefully that made more sense than actually trying to read it word by word, because that stuff is crazy. It's very, very complicated. You need, like, I mean, it's obvious. Sometimes you really need to break down this stuff. It's really hard to understand some stuff in FEH. FEH is easily the most complicated Fire Emblem game out there, with all the text and all the numbers that is involved with everything. And I love it for that, in, you know, in terms of it's a really in-depth game, but sometimes I just wish they worded things better, like they could have done for Lodestar Rush and Potent. But hopefully I made a little bit of sense, and that breakdown for Phoenix Master, again, huge thanks to him, and also check out his video as well. So yeah, that is my video, guys. Hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble. As always, leave a like if you did enjoy. Please stay safe out there. Peace out. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention. I love that I talked about how Divine Speed, you know, Potent is implemented in this game, being able to strike so many times. I love how Dancing Blade is pretty much true in FEH now. We've had it before, kind of, in Legendary Marth. One of his animations, he does the downward swing of the Dancing Blade, but this one is truly a Dancing Blade, because he just swings and just swings for the fences. You know, not a lot of units are gonna be able to take all of his hits. I love the way that, you know, kind of Dancing Blade is implemented into FEH, so that's super cool, you know, as a Marth main. So this Zelgius here, he's going to try to live, but he's not going to be able to survive the third hit. That is incredible. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching.